Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
You decide to go to Juilliard. Who was in your class?
Are you trying to get me to say famous people, or just what do you want me to do?
Well, I'd love famous people, but who, people that the listeners might know.
Sada Ramirez of ER fame, and Madam Secretary was in my class. I wasn't in the same classes, but I'm best friends with Carrie Preston, who is on The Good Wife and currently on Claws. She was at school at the same time as me.
And you were in the acting program.
I was in the acting program. Alan Tudyk, who's in the new Star Wars.
All right. All I want to say was that was my dream growing up.
Really?
Yeah, to go to Juilliard. Tell me, what was it? I mean, you're right at Lincoln's.
Yeah.
I mean, it
was great.
It
was terrific.
Yeah, I can't.
I will say this, there were some difficult years at Juilliard. There were cuts. I was still there during the cuts years. They had a transition of different artistic directors and stuff. So there were the idealism of the first Juilliard when Michael Howard was on faculty, and they had people like Patti LuPone in the class and Christopher Reeve and Robin Williams, that kind of heyday, William Hurt, Kelsey Grammer. That was before, right? And then there was this midsection where we were, which was a lot of growing pains and a lot of difficulty. A lot of the same teachers, but some of the cutting policies were very tough, and it made you feel nervous, like there was an axe over your head all the time.
Right.
And it was tough. And I would say a lot of people were very traumatized in a certain, I'm not going to say which span of years, but I know what they are about their time. And a lot of people don't even want to go back into the halls of Juilliard. They're so PTSD. So it's not all Robin Williams and Christopher
That's
Reeve.
what people think of, yeah.
That's what they think. Now it's a lot better. Now when I see the fresh-faced kids coming out of Juilliard, because I was there 15 years ago. But now in the last, say, 7 years, people are coming out very hopeful, like Anthony Mackie, and they're coming out, Jessica Chastain. They're coming out full of promise and vigor because they haven't had it beat out of them. But a lot of us had the will to live and act beat out of us.
So when you...
That's the truth, and anyone who went to Juilliard will know that there wasn't. It was sort of like they were like my parents. They were mean all the time, but I loved it. I got into 3 or 4 different drama schools when I auditioned, and
what'd you audition with?
Such an actor question. I auditioned with Imogene from Cymbeline, which is a monologue where she wakes up next to her lover's dead body that has been decapitated.
All right, just do the very beginning.
Oh, posthumous alas. Where is thy head? I mean, where's that? I could have made it funny, but I'm not going to. But she's looking at a headless body.
Okay.
And then I did George Wolfe's The Colored Museum. I did a piece from that, which was about a girl giving birth to an egg, like an actual giant egg. And it's an interesting proposition for me to do a piece from the Colored Museum, not being an African-American person. I talked about it with George a little bit later in life when I was working at the Public. But, I grew up in a culture with no Asian-American role modeling, so I was grafting myself and also as a mixed race person onto other people's, analysis of race and identity in America.
Did anyone make any comments about your identity during your... years at Juilliard?
Not really, but it reflected in my casting. And it was funny that all the, Juilliard, you were hostage to casting. So you're in school from, 8 in the morning till 11 at night because you have class, rehearsal, project, right? And that's 7 days a week. It's intense, like boot camp, right? And, if you get stuck with shitty casting, you're still there. Right. And you've paid the same amount of money for voice and speech classes and movement classes, but now you're playing a 2-line role as a maid. It's very frustrating. And so I did fine at Juilliard. I just like to say that I did fine. I got great agents when I came out. I did fine, but my casting was a piece of shit for a long time. And when it started to change was when outside directors, not inside that little insular political system, came in, and then they just looked at us and cast us. So I had a really good time, and I chose Juilliard because I wanted to be surrounded by singers and dancers, and composers and musicians. Like that's the kind of artist I've always wanted to be and am. And so I didn't go to a straight up drama school where I wouldn't have that. I chose the Juilliard purposefully, and I'm so glad that I did because I still have a lot of relationships with one of my great friends now. We were never friends in school ever. Is this chick Brianna Reed? She was the lead ballerina at Alvin Ailey for 10 years.
No way!
And now we're talking about collaboing on some like music video stuff. So yeah, that's the kind of world that I wanted to live in.
Right.
So she's so people are like, you know any dancers? I'm like, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Like that's what you get when you go to. Do you know any musicians? Well, I happen to know. I can just give one a call right now.
So did you stay in New York after
did.
Juilliard? Yeah.
I mean, I did regional theater a little bit.
Right.
But basically I stayed here.
But it's so exciting, wasn't it? Did you pinch yourself every day like, oh my God, I'm at Juilliard, I'm at Lincoln Center?
I loved being there, but like I said, it was dramatic because of the culture of getting cut and punishment that was prevalent.
Right.
At the time I was there, I know it's changed, and it's changed in the last 10 years, and God bless the kids going through now. We all look at them as a bunch of pansies there. Like, you're all a bunch of pansies. Look at you. Look at you with your positive reinforcement and not getting cut in second year.
Shut the fuck up.
We started with 25. We ended up with 17 in my class. So that's eight people bit the dust.
So
every...
Did you know... Like, how did you know...
You got warnings.
So the people weren't surprised when they got cut?
No, not really.
But they must have cried and
everybody. It was just dramatic as hell. But it was.
Did anyone become a huge star after getting cut?
Kelsey Grammer. I think Robin Williams cut himself. He just quit. Wes Bentley. He didn't. He quit. A lot of people quit.
Because it's just so fucking hard.
Well, because they just wanted to work.
Right.
And they're like, fuck this place. I'm not learning anything.
Right.
It would depend on what you needed to learn and who was there teaching you at the time. It was like, like any other place.
Right.
But
that's so exciting.
I became friends with Mary Rogers Gettle.
Oh, yes.
She's the chairman of the board at the time.
Yeah. My friend Kate is really close with her daughters, and
she was the chairman, and I decided a way of avoiding getting cut would be to become friends with the chairman of the board of the Juilliard School. So that is what I did. I also became a writer for their newspaper, and I thought if I'm writing every single month,
then they can't
about the drama division.
Smart,
I hedged my fucking bets.
So you leave there, but when you were a teen, you were on Canadian Broadcasting. The teen news show, What's New? And you gave movie reviews for teens. So you had some on air. Did you get paid for that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got paid a couple $100 or whatever.
And did you keep it? Did you?
Yeah, I kept. Well, I wasn't allowed to do it. I had to do it quietly and silently and sneak off and pretend I was going to the library to study math, and I would do that instead.
And did your parents see you on TV?
They hated it. They didn't want it to happen. They were all about medical school, as I said. It's not a stereotype. It's true.
Right.
And once in a while, their friends would be like, "Oh, we saw Kate on TV," and they'd be like, "Ha ha, yeah," and then I'd get in trouble at home.
Oh, fuck that! It's not like you were out smoking or doing crack.
No.
Fuck that shit. So, what are the first jobs you get out of Juilliard?
Regional theater, classical theater jobs. I did As You Like It. I did Actors Theater of Louisville. I did a Thornton Wilder play. I did The Christmas Carol, which is a rite of passage for every American actor.
And did you feel successful, or were you like, I can't fucking do this shit?
When I graduated, I was like, I'm too old. This is not going to work. Yeah,
How old were you when you graduated?
I was 25.
Yeah, that's really old. That's really
I've
old.
always looked around this. I look a little older now, but I've always looked around 40, maybe 35 at that time.
You don't.
And so
you look younger than 40.
Do I? Well,
I look at you.
That. Well, I've always looked around this age. So when I was 25, I still looked kind of this age, and it was, whatever. Our business is tough on everybody,
I know.
as you know, right? And so again, I was hedging my bets. I got out of Juilliard. I did these plays. Now, if I could go back and tell myself one thing now, and I tell anybody one thing now, including everybody in this room, it's that if you do not invest and imbue your current achievements with their full fucking glory, you are missing out on your life. If you're always looking at like, but I'm not Leonard DiCaprio or
yeah.
I'm at this party at Caroline's Comedy Club, but other people are at the Oscars. If you're always looking outside and you're not actually imbuing the fun of this moment,
right,
and the richness of this moment,
and the process, like you have to enjoy the process.
Well, I've only learned that in the last 5 years, and I've spent a lot of my life going fuck. And
jealousy, and it's just like, oh my
jealousy,
God,
but
there's
also
room
feeling not even jealous, just feeling bad about myself,
inadequate,
and feeling like I've never gotten there. And I've done a lot of interesting shit. In my
oh my
life.
God,
I have.
You got to look up Kate. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now,
I went into comedy almost right away, though, out of Juilliard. I have to say, it was about a year and a half out. And I've always loved.
Where'd you go?
I went to Andy's show at Caroline's.
Oh yeah,
and
Andy.
I did, but he wanted characters. That's funny.
Right.
He wanted characters. Remember, he was all about characters.
Yeah.
He still is, right?
Yeah.
He's really into that, and that's fine. And so I had a natural segue into characters because growing up, I'd always I was a huge fan of John Leguizamo, Gilda
and Whoopi.
Radner,
I read that
and
you were,
Whoopi and all of that. And so I'd always emulated them and done. That's why I called my show Chinkorama back in the day, because it was an homage to Spikorama, right? But anyways, I've always admired those types of artists, so it was a natural segue to get into the comedy club doing characters.
Right.
So they were kind of characters doing stand-up is what they were telling jokes, but they were a character. And I did that for a while, and then I was like, I'm not good enough at stand-up. I'm too long form. As a trained Juilliard actor, you think in long beats, not in setup punch.
But it's also
I'm still like that a little.
But that's a good point, because I mean, look, my jokes are not like but boom, but boom,
but
boom.
You know how to place a punchline,
right? But I'm not that great when I have to do a 6-minute set on a TV show, because I'm like, okay, gotta get it out, gotta get a laugh.
You know, one of the funniest things I ever saw you do?
Gotta get out.
You and Leah at a benefit, and Leah made you scat.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, where was that?
It was way on the west side, like at the Zipper or something. It was like one of those little...
Yeah.
And then she was like, do some scatting.
Oh God. My mother used to be like,
hilarious.
The only reason they scat is because they can't remember
Forget
the words.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Campbells.
Good God.
Was that another?
Did you get a resume of mine from 1987?
No, that was a drama.
Is that
you were
even on my IMDb? It can't be.
No, I do. I read interviews and shit.
Oh, that's
okay.
Probably right. Yeah.
So the Campbells.
The Campbells was like like a pioneer show on CBC television, and I was. Did it tell you what part I played?
No.
I played a native Canadian person. So now we're touching some very sensitive kind of political material here.
Wow.
Well, just for those of you at home, I am brown, and I've often been mistaken for a Native American or Native Canadian person.
Right.
And if you want to get all technical on my fucking ass, we share DNA.
Wow.
Because the Indonesians are the
3.5
ancestors to
yeah.
the, exactly, 3.5 of me to the Filipinos, but we also share this kind of, blood. Let me just put it that way, of the migrating peoples.
Right.
So who the hell knows? You know what I mean? But no, I am not technically a Native American or Canadian person, and so I would never ever probably be able to play a role like that again.
So you did Chinkorama.
Yeah.
You did Birth of an Nation. Wait, you did,
which was called Somebody's Kid in its first incarnation at PS, NBC, and here Theater Space. It changed.
Oh yeah, remember that HBO?
Of course I do. Yeah, I did. Them all.
You did Happy Lucky Golden Tofu Panda Dragon Good Time Fun Show.
Correct. Which was
such
a pleasure.
Great fucking
Thank
name.
you. Happy Lucky Golden Tofu Panda Dragon Good Time Fun Show. What's it about, Sweden?
Is that what it's about?
No, it's about Asian stuff.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. You also, which people might know you from, for 3 years you worked on on Dr. Phil's show.
I did, which was a happy accident and fantastic.
So, and
with Kathleen Madigan, although we never worked together.
I remember, yeah. So
we did the same kind of thing.
So you would go out. First of all, what the fuck is Dr. Phil like?
Dude, he's awesome.
And
but his entire staff, his entire senior staff is women. I can't say anything bad about him. Yeah.
What?
Everyone from his showrunner to the senior producer.
I love that.
What am I going to say? You know?
Is he a trained psychologist?
I think so. Here's what I know about Dr. Phil. He's got great boundaries. He doesn't fuck around. He doesn't leave himself to any crazy or litigation or anything. He keeps it real professional all the time. He actually seems to care about people, ish. I mean, it's a TV show, for God's sake, right? But when I was on, this is what happened. I can only speak of my personal experience. I got asked to be on by a producer who I guess had researched my comedy or my shows or something. And said, will you come on and be on a panel about race in America? I said, great. Yeah, sure. Y'all be the Asian person, right? And so there was me, an African-American person, a Latino person, a white person. We were all talking about racial bias and the difference between racism and racial bias, which for those of you at home who don't know, racial bias is more about preconceived notions about race that are not necessarily negative or exclusionary, but they do fall in the spectrum of racial profiling and racism, racial thought. So it's more nuanced, like assuming that all Asian people are Chinese, for instance, right? Is racial bias. So I had to talk about that, and I spoke and I wore a giant Hello Kitty necklace, and I looked cute in my little suit and stuff, and I came on. And after the show, we're taking pictures, and he has this like meet and greet area for all the guests, whether they're people with problems or us on a panel. It's the same meet and greet area. He comes in, takes a couple of group shots, and he's out of there, right? So he comes in, we take these group shots with everybody, and it was jovial because we were not asking him for help. We were like experts or whatever. And he turns to me and goes, "You're great. You should come work here again." And then walked off. So I flipped around and I said to the producer who booked me, he just said, "I'm great and I should work here again. Can we make that happen?" Here's my phone number. Here's my information. And that's how that happened.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah. My mom would say, "Why did you alienate everyone you ever work with? You only work for 3 years on Dr. Phil."
Oh my God. Little does she know.
So it was great. So then they started tapping me just for regular. It was really fun. I did Man on the Street.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Like, interviewing people about what animal would they be, Briggs Myers testing, things like that.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved it.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You've been on Law and Order more than once.
Many times.
Okay.
I think I've been on all the Law and Orders.
Hoochie Who was hilarious. Mariska looks at you like you're a fucking asshole.
I loved Mariska. I told her she was a stone fox when I met her in the makeup trailer. She is a stone fox.
She's so beautiful and so nice.
Who knew? Like, I know she looks good on TV, but in real life, people, holy.
But
Jesus.
I went up. I was at a benefit with
Did you tell her
and
she
her
was
husband.
A stone fox?
No, I went up to her and her husband. I go, "Listen, can I just ask you guys a question?" And like, it's a real question. They said, "Yeah." And I said, "What's it like to get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and be like, great,' and then go outside? Like, what is that like?"
And what did they say?
They were like confused. I go, "Oh my God, are you look at you. You get up." Like,
both of them.
What? I said, "What's it like to go to the gym
and be like, yeah,
and come and then walk out and be like, oh, I could go on a modeling shoot, right?" Like, what the fuck is it like never having to worry about whether you look good or not? Like,
Meanwhile,
what the fuck?
I have to like mind game trick myself to get to. No, we're not really going to the gym. I'll pretend I'm not going to the gym. I'm just gonna pack these running shoes, but I'm not actually. I'm going shopping, or
I got my steps in.
Yeah.
You do a lot of voices on Family Guy.
I did some voices on Family Guy.
Yes. There were a lot.
Yes, there was a few.
I like that.
I like it.
Do you love doing voiceovers?
I do. I haven't done enough of them in the last 10 years, but I do love it.
What do you think about the first Asian American cast member, fully Asian American, on SNL?
I have shamedly to tell you that I have not seen enough of his work to know yet, so I don't know. I am not a regular watcher anymore. I know. I'm sorry. That's a bad answer.
I know.
I'll watch it. How is he?
He's fucking great.
Oh, great. Then I'm thrilled.
He's fucking amazing. Amazing. And gay.
Well, all right.
And just
Bonus.
out and fucking talented. Yeah.
Love it.
And then we had that whole, Shane Gillis thing, with him. It's just an awful situation. But I just am so happy he's on there.
Me too.
Okay, what else? What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I don't know what you wrote in your little diary notebook.
Lyrics hung and came.
Oh, Lyris Hung, Slanty Eyed Mama.
Oh, Lyris Hung. Yes. I fucking write shit. So she's someone who also went to. She was
Correct.
all right. So Lyris Hung.
I was introduced to Lyris Hung, who is an incredible violin player, electric violin player.
Amazeballs.
Yeah, I was introduced to her through an opera singer friend of ours at Juilliard. See, these are the kind of stories I live for and I want to live. So great. So my opera singing friend Shelley, who is now a burlesque star.
Shelley what?
Watson. No.
Oh, fuck.
But
no,
she's a burlesque star in New York City.
Uh-huh.
But she was an opera student at the Juilliard. She says, you got to meet this rad electric violinist Lyris. She's badass. She has tattoos. You're going to love her. You're so rock and roll, and she's so rock and roll.
Right.
So that's how we met, and I recruited Lyris to do Birth of an Asian, actually. I just wanted incidental music. I just wanted music between the characters.
Right.
But then we started working together. Like, we had this one character called, the spoken word artist or whatever, making fun of spoken word,
Yeah.
And we started doing these pieces as a joke, and I was like, this is kind of good.
Funny, right.
Like, what if we just went to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and fucking threw down and did some poems, like actual poems. So that's how Me Love You Long Time, which is the first song we ever wrote, came up. And we went to Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and people were like, what the fuck is this? Because it was really rad. It was rad. It was like straight up spoken word, angry and crazy, just like, the best spoken word, but with this crazy violinist.
Right.
So then we did like gigs at the Bowery Poetry Club in Nuyorican just to try it out. And then we started touring as a band and also doing these theatrical shows.
That's so awesome.
So we went to lots of colleges. We went to LA Grand Performances.
What is it like? I wrote colleges down because we
went to the Michigan Women's Music Festival 5 times.
Wow. Lesbo Central.
Lesborific.
So colleges.
Yeah.
Which.
Have you done a lot of that?
I have not done in years. First of all, you can't. They're telling kids they're telling comics what they can and cannot say.
Like I said, I haven't been on stage like that for 5 years, so
it's just
partly because of that.
Right. It's who the fuck are you to tell me what the fuck I can say?
I'm triggered by your trigger warning. Okay, fuck your trigger warning.
Fuck you.
I'm triggered. Here's my thing about trigger warnings. I want you to be triggered.
Right.
I don't want you to sit there eating your bonbons, talking to your friends who are all of the same relative.
It's also this idea that you can't have a feeling. Like you can't have a feeling. Like you have to be protected. Yeah.
You're at college. This is where you're supposed to question yourself and learn about yourself.
It's ridiculous.
In the world. So yeah, I do want to say some crazy shit, and yeah, I do want to bring my show Chinkarama,
right?
So we can talk about what is the word chink and where does it come from and what is the origin of it and how do people use it and how has it changed over time. That's an interesting conversation. If you're
absolutely
la fingers and ears, I'm triggered by the word chink, then we're never going to get past the word chink. So we need to talk about it, but they don't try explaining that to anybody. So there's no way.
Well, no, they don't want to know it. They've been programmed.
I can't. And like I remember there was this artist's work on a campus I went to, and it was a showing. It was called The Sleepwalker, and it was like a life-size sculpture of a dude in his tighty whities sleepwalking. Okay, and it appeared at different places on the campus. It was interesting,
but it was
the people freaked out and said they were triggered by it. And
wait, was it a real person just standing there, or was it a sculpture?
It was like a sculpture of a dude in his underpants,
right,
sleepwalking. You know? He wasn't like with a giant boner in my face. He wasn't like
it was just someone sleepwalking.
It was somebody sleepwalking in tighty whities. There was nothing crazy about that. But all these like crazy people, I don't know if they were rad. I don't know what they were, but they protested and they asked for the thing to get taken down, which I thought was outrageous.
Fucking sick of this.
I'm triggered by that, and my personal. I don't know. I think it was all about. Listen. I'm not blaming the victim of people who have been targeted by, for sexual assault or harassment or molestation.
But they're not the ones who are telling you to shut up. They're not the people that say...
No, those are the ones who took down the sleepwalker because they said they were triggered by his nudity.
Okay, so they're triggered, I'm sure...
Of their own abuse, and I'm like, dude, you can't stop an artist for doing the sleepwalker, and then because you need to work out your issues,
right? It's not like the intent of the artist is to trigger people.
Yeah, and it certainly wasn't like a piece called "I'm going to rape you right now,"
right?
I
can't take it. I can't. It's
so I got crazy, and I argued with the students on the campus about this. And the only reason I backed down a little, I was like, all right, you are paying tuition,
right?
This is not a public space. You are paying tuition. This is a private space, this college. It's not like, New York City. Right? So if you're objecting to this thing and you don't like it, this is your space. Technically, you have the right to ask them to take it down. But I still disagree with the ethos that you're approaching this question with,
I agree.
Naked men everywhere.
So fucking stupid.
Plus, it's underpants. Like, have you
Right,
ever watched
I know.
Game of Thrones?
And also, what if these people walk around? Women walk around in like nothing. Shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole.
My day when we covered it up with a tube top.
So you've been doing these, I'd say one-person shows, but they're not really one-person shows.
Kind of.
You've sort of said, I can't deal with the comedy clubs.
For now.
I mean, it is tough, and the audiences are like, ooh, you know how it used
What am I going to talk about? Like, honestly, I have said this all my life. I wish I could do what's the deal with peanuts? What's the deal with grape nuts? No grapes, no nuts.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Like, I am not that writer.
I don't think they're doing that. People aren't doing that. I mean, there are some.
I'm not going to name them, but they're doing it.
It's snooze fest.
doing it.
Yeah.
Why
But I
you
mean,
would
there's
say they're
other.
doing it.
No, I'm saying there's more people who are not doing. I mean, there's other people who are not doing
Yes,
it.
of
Like
course.
we used to be mostly what's the grape.
Deal
Yeah.
with grape nuts, no grapes, no nuts. I wonder if I stole that from somebody.
It is someone's, but then it's the same thing with there's no chicken and chicken nuggets.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
what
there you
part of the
go.
nugget is the chicken? It's like,
I've been watching commercials. Ooh, what's the deal with that commercial? My commercial jokes were all about the colostomy bag commercials.
Mine
and the
mo-
non-union actors doing them.
mine were about the woman who was dressed up as diarrhea and would follow the other woman around as her diarrhea. Like that's her job. Like that she would get stopped on the street and people would be like, "Wait, you're diarrhea, aren't you?"
Mine somehow came to finger banging. There was a finger. Mine had the end of this. My bit on commercials had to do with finger banging.
Wow.
And it was an old lady, an old non-union lady actress. I got to look it up now because it's going to make me laugh. It's just for my own amusement. It was. There was a real ad for a finger bang machine, like it was a thing that you could finger bang yourself with late at night. There was
That's
an ad
great.
for this on VH1.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am fascinated right now with the Peyronie's disease commercial where the fucking guy is
with the
holding a
banana.
cucumber
I'm
and a
fascinated
banana.
with that.
Fuck you. Like I know this is not the equivalent.
Cialis. I had a bunch of Cialis commercials.
Oh, I did the Cialis too. I did a bunch
What
of
was
those.
yours about?
Mine was about how the commercial is set up so at the end of each scene that's when the guy needs the hard on and
He's ready for sex.
Right. So it's always like the woman's putting up curtains. And then he's like, I'll be right back. Just going to go in the other room and get a hard on. Like, and then
Mine was about walking around with a boner for 4 hours.
Yeah.
How painful that would be. And also, who needs a 4-hour boner?
Right.
Because they're showing them at a party.
Right.
To hanging out. So
Right.
he's got a boner
And
this
you gotta
entire
get- yeah.
time, and you're aware of it, and you're looking at it, and you're
Right.
uncomfortable.
There's also-
the Cialis.
Right.
They were saying you should take it now so you'll be ready later.
Right,
So
right.
I was like, how long is
Yeah.
this boner going to last?
the other.
But the Peyronie's
Peyronie's
disease-
is like,
Why are they inflicting that shit on me?
But also, like you're saying
It's
a
not
woman.
like a commercial like where you're like, is one of your tits bigger than the other?
Right.
Like,
yeah, they are. But it's, but also like women can't we're fighting so that we can have health clinics stay open. And you're talking about your fucking crooked dick. I don't think
is
so.
it a disease? Like, is it a late progression? Like, do they have a normal dick and then it turns into
I don't know. I'm a
bent
lesbian.
cucumber?
I don't care. I guess Henry, do men's
dicks
get
later turn into the bent cucumber?
Yeah,
or
what
have they
happens?
always been the bent cucumber?
Do they all bend as you get older?
He's saying that you're born
He's saying
like that.
you're
but
born
the
in.
commercial implies that you once were normal and
now all of a sudden
you've turned into
the Peyronie's disease.
They're implying that you turn into like Lord of the Rings Hagar or
Right.
something like as you get older. Like
the other thing is Jewish penises stay the same. Okay, here's my thing.
He's right though. I didn't see any Jews on that commercial.
Yeah.
It was all like, "Hi, I'm Chad, and my dick
Right.
used to be strong and long, and
now
it's
this is
shaped
all I
like-"
have to say. This is all I have to say. Okay, if you need a pill to get a hard on and your dick is curving. Okay, you're done.
Time
you
to
had your
retire.
fucking sex. It's over. It's time for women. Fuck these guys. Fuck you.
Go
Fuck
back.
you.
Go
We
back.
don't need you. Okay, Henry, I don't want to hear about you taking Cialis. I've already heard about you taking
Why would
acid.
a teenager need to take Cialis?
'Cause
You
he has to
already have
try
a
shit. He has
7-hour boner.
Positional
Oh, right.
defiance disorder.
Well, that's a good. I mean,
Yeah.
all the disorders. At least you don't have Peyronie's disease.
Yeah, right. This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself. You can process and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it and you sit there and you wait. And then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. Kate, now, first of all, where can people find you? KateRigg.com.
You can find me at KateRigg.com. That's about it for right now. SlantyEyedMama.com has a lot of videos and music and content.
You're so fucking talented.
If you're an Asian person, go to SlantyEyedMama.com and take a look at the work we've done over the years. I think you'll find something there.
I love it. You're so great.
Fun. The new movie, Zombie Asian Moms, we are in post for right now, and it's going to make its round of the circuit. I'm figuring out how to release. Here's my other thing, is fuck the comments, all right? When I made Happy Lucky Golden Tofu Panda Dragon Good Time Fun Show, it's not so a bunch of jerking off 15-year-old guys at home in Iowa can be like, you're fat, or whatever they're going to fucking say. I don't care. So I'm trying to figure out a way to release this to the people that want to see it and need to see it without subjecting myself to a barrage. I'm going to admit it right now. I don't have the nads, for people to take me to task for something that has nothing to do with the show.
Right. That's the fucking social media.
Disable the comments.
It's just constant, you're a kike, you're comment a dyke, I don't
know how anyone, listen, and the thing is I'm not rich or famous enough to protect myself. This is the other thing, is I realized on Medium when I wrote an article called My Brown Skin Asian Immigrant Mom. My mom is a brown-skinned Asian immigrant. She's also a racist. Now what? That was the name of the article, right? I got so much, relatively speaking, shit from white people. And I kept saying, this article
it has nothing to do with you,
white
assholes.
guys were arguing with me. Maybe, you should just
shut the fuck up.
And my point is, when I started deep diving and reading a little bit more, and that was a great article. 20,000 people read it, which is better than my usual blog posts, and it was great, and people were in discussion about it. And it was really to put out this idea, but not for white people to attack me. I started reading about these bloggers, these girls out there, there's some African-American ones and others who get doxxed and fully attacked in their homes. I don't have, Julianne Moore money to protect myself from that kind of shit. So I am running a little scared right now because I don't talk about grape nuts. What's the deal with grapes? What's the deal with nuts?
I get it all the time. I wrote that CNN article about Shane Gillis. Because he got fired. And I wrote about that it wasn't because of political correctness. It was because he did his podcast, said what he wanted to say, and now that it's a corporation and you can't, you're working for a corporation. So then they decided it wasn't a proper fit. And my point, I was sort of defending comedy in a way, saying, because he was saying I'm pushing boundaries. No, George Carlin pushed boundaries. Richard Pryor pushed boundaries. Lenny Bruce pushed boundaries. Joan Rivers pushed boundaries. But to say that using, like you said in the beginning, racial epithets that aren't funny. Like if you're going to make a joke about being a rape, be funny.
For me, I agree with you, right?
So
but
that's what I was.
If a corporation tries to hire me and they see that my first show is called Chinkarama, they might be like, "Yeah, we can't have this artist on our television network.
Right.
What do I do with my life?" That's
right.
what I'm saying to you.
So
and that's the corporation,
right?
But now I'm talking about the angry teenagers,
right?
Who come and
but
send
now
the fucking
I
SWAT
get
team.
because of my opinion about it. I have been vilified mostly by these white guy. Some not white guy, but mostly white guy comics who were like, you fucking, like who I just wrote a book about freedom of speech. I am for freedom of speech, but I'm not for blaming comedy or come on, make it really fucking funny.
Yeah, I know. He
I'm
thought
just
it was funny, and his dumb friends thought it was
right.
funny,
But I said but I said, look. I listened to it twice and I had no idea this is a quote unquote character. Like I really listened to everything. And I was like,
well, listen,
where's the joke? But it's also like he can still go out. Like that's the thing. You can still go out and do
what the difference between him and Joe Rogan is he got fucking fired. Joe Rogan went and said ching chong, ching chong, ching chong on the radio and did not get fired. Right. He continues to enjoy his career.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't actually have the insulation either from the corporation or from the mean kids out there. So I'm like at a moment in my life where I'm like, what am I going to do? Because my truth is edgy. My truth is...
Right.
My truth
but it's your truth and you have to speak truth to power and that's it.
I got to tell you something though. Like in this climate where smart people are told they're stupid and right is wrong and everything's upside down... I am not sure, I'm taking a step back and going like, what is my purpose here? Like, is it to create connections? I think now it's to create connections. Before it was to challenge preconceived ideas about stuff. That doesn't, it's not that I'm afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to do it.
Well, you can't make connections if you have to
personal safety, and that's a real thing.
It's sad. That's now
that's why I don't go to college campuses.
Right.
I am not afraid of my personal safety, but just like who fucking wants to get shouted
I know
for speaking truth to power.
Right.
That's why I became an activist in the last,
But you have to. But it's like you can't tell someone, take these words out of your vocabulary. Okay, now make your point. You can't fucking do that. Anyway. So that's that. I was told, I can't work at one of the comedy clubs.
Really?
Now. And it's really, I was like, oh my God, I am
it'll go back.
Yeah, but it's just, it's never happened. If whatever.
People have been dragged. I don't know about you. All my friends have been dragged off the stage in various. Yeah. Scott Thompson has some fantastic
love
the stage stories.
Now, I ask my podcast guests 2 questions every time.
Okay.
We're very pro mental health. I suffer from anxiety, depression, whatever, ADHD, whatever, every fucking other comic. 1, do you take any antidepressants? Have you ever?
Is that the question?
Yes.
I do not currently take antidepressants. I am currently experimenting with CBD to control my anxiety, and I'm finding it fairly successful. And I'm enjoying
excellent.
It. I'm very dismayed by the vaping illness and
same.
whatever, because I threw out all my vapes. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking die for this.
Right.
So we're back to the oils and the edibles and stuff. But I loved vaping for that 1 second because I used to smoke back in the day.
Yeah.
Ooh, I loved smoking. And then I quit like 10 years ago or whatever. And I thought vaping was my like little...
Yeah, I did too. I was like, I can take one hit.
People are dying. So that's that.
Did you hear that, Henry? Okay. And
especially from the pot ones, man.
What?
No, they're all potentially poison right now, even the professional ones, unfortunately. I went to MedMen in Los Angeles, trust me, and I went through every vape in their store and said,
you
which
did?
one of these is safe? And they're like, well, maybe this one. So like...
Oh, you went to that place. Oh, wow.
I did go to that. I was serious about my vaping.
Okay. And have you ever been on antidepressants?
I was on antidepressants when I was 19 and 20. I may have been misdiagnosed and actually had ADD because then I went on Ritalin through my early 30s, which helped me a lot. But now I do none of that stuff. So I'm not sure.
Do you feel good?
Or just, do I feel good? I'll tell you now that one of my parents has passed away, I feel marginally better. And I'll probably feel a lot better when the other one dies too. I know it's like I'm like a heretic right now, but that's the truth.
So your mom passed away.
Mm-hmm. We have a great relationship now.
It's fantastic. Did you ever resolve?
You can't resolve something with someone who is diametrically different than you in their entire worldview. However, now that she's gone, we have an amazing relationship.
That's exciting.
And it took a year or two of me thinking about the circumstances that brought her to this country, why she left in the first place, and most of all, my deep, intense gratitude for the life that I have that was made possible by her throwing everything she knew away and trying something new. And it wasn't entirely successful for her, but she allowed me like a doorway into the world that I would never have had if she had stayed on a farm in North Sumatra. So I am thrilled. And I remember whenever I feel like a failure, I only have to think back one generation to my own grandma and think about what she would think of the amazing freedoms and opportunities that I have.
Exactly.
And that's that.
Did you ever say I love you to her?
Oh God, yeah. All the
Okay.
time.
So
Yeah.
all right. So and your
She was
father
just mean to me right until the day she died.
all right.
But, you know,
well,
it is what
we
it
can
is.
put it in your show. And then your father. How old?
He's complicated. He's 73 now.
That's it? He's a baby. Your mother was
Maybe he's
young.
75.
Your mother was
My
young.
mom died young. My mom died at 70. He's
That's
75
terrible.
now. Yeah, it is terrible.
And is he
Although it's better for me.
dating?
He might be married, but he hasn't told me. But I think he
What?
might be married.
What? Wait.
We didn't talk
What?
about my family for a reason. But yes, he might be married. I'm not sure.
Wait.
I
So
suspect he's married.
okay.
'Cause
So
the call
you
signs are pointing to that.
okay. When's the last time you spoke to him?
3 weeks ago?
Okay. This is so not Jewish, this conversation. Okay.
Can't ring the bell.
I know. So wait, your mom dies.
Yeah.
You have a funeral.
Yes.
Okay. You're
I
with
did
your
a very
father.
nice eulogy. Yes. Yes.
and
what about
and
it?
and is he upset? Is he
My dad led a double life is all I'm going to say.
what? You can't tell me
He
anymore.
was compartmentalized into two kinds of people, and the other one is now here.
Do you like the other one?
It's all right.
Wait, so he was your father and a psychiatrist.
Yes.
And your mother's husband.
And, yeah, correct.
And then he was someone else.
Correct.
And you had no idea.
I didn't know to the extent. I sort of thought about, it would bubble up in conflict. It's part of the reason my mom died so young. But it would bubble up a little bit. And then when he dies, I'll talk all about it, but he's still here now. So,
God,
I
get first dibs.
He had this other,
on Kate Rigg.
He had this other life going on. And so I think now he's just in that life, but I'm not sure.
Wow. See, you can't do that with social media anymore.
That's right.
can't
That's
have
why
a double-
he never even had email. He was so like track
Wow.
covery. He didn't even have a cell phone while my mom was alive. He had a fucking pager.
Oh,
and you'd have to go
God.
through an answering service to reach him, so you never knew where he was.
Wow.
She would stalk him. It was crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Mazel tov. Okay, here's the last question.
Yeah.
Now, my podcast is called Kill Me Now because I say that about 12 times a day because I hate everyone and everything. What pisses you off? Like makes you fucking like you can't fucking fuck.
What pisses me off?
Like really
Makes
fucking
me, like,
piss you.
nuts. That
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
fucking punch someone
Yeah.
in the nuts.
Yeah.
I want to punch people in the nuts all the time.
Right.
So I'm trying to think why. The thing that makes me say "kill me now" every day is old shitty boss hog senators and congressmen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Refusing to listen to anything Trump makes me go kill me now.
Right.
And I know it's such a hack question, but it's true. It's so
I
It's
know.
not Trump. Trump does not make me say kill me now. Trump was always very clear about who he was.
Right. It's
all
these
the
other fucking monsters.
fucker monsters that are sitting around going, yeah, that's fine, no problem.
But
Like,
also,
that
and
makes
you
me
look
go
at these
kill me now.
committees, it's all white men.
Yeah, that
over fucking
that makes
60.
me go kill me now. What
Yeah.
makes me go kill me now are these councils on women's rights in the Middle East that are
Right.
made up of all men deciding about women's rights. Another
Right.
thing that makes me go kill me now. No, I'm not going to say that one. It's too politically incorrect, but I'll tell you that one off
Oh,
camera.
fuck!
Nope.
Okay.
Don't need the hate mail. Thank you very much. Anything that steps on other people's right to just live and have a nice breakfast and get health care and get a good education. Also, that makes me go kill me now is any of these pieces of shit who are gutting our education system.
It's horrible.
Betsy DeVos, I would like to kill her and then kill myself. Because the fact that, and all of these people who are doing jobs that have control over other people's lives.
And have no experience. They've never worked in that yet.
Steve Mnuchin, suck my dick.
Fuck you, Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing running the
fucking
country?
asshole.
And the current head of the IRS can also suck my dick.
Fuck him.
Yeah, Betsy DeVos can suck my dick.
Yeah.
Lots of people could suck my dick right now. And I'm just pissed about it. I'm pissed about Melania Trump could suck my dick.
I know. She can suck mine, too.
She could suck it with her Be Best campaign.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Right.
Don't cyberbully. Your stupid
fucking husband.
Just went after Greta Thunberg.
I know.
Dumb bitch. Ivanka Trump can also suck
my dick.
Right. Get out of New York. Get out of here.
Fuckhead.
I don't know what's going to happen, Judy.
I know.
Gold.
It's just, I want that ring.
This?
Yeah. It's so heavy looking.
Yeah, take a look.
Wow.
It's Ganesha.
It's so cool. Where'd you get it?
Thailand. I like to travel. I've just given up. I've given up on trying to have a job or a career.
I love it.
All I want to do is see the wonder of nature. I'm going to New Zealand next week.
Wow. For how long?
Hopefully not anywhere near a volcano.
Yeah, right?
Hashtag too soon.
But who the fuck goes there? Like, how did they not know?
To a volcano. Who goes, you know what? Put this gas mask
I
on
know.
And put on these, like,
I would be like, bye.
things.
I'm out of here.
It's like,
so stupid. Everyone's so fucking
no
stupid.
Jewish person would walk into the mouth of a volcano.
That's true. We got to see what the last names are of the people who perished. Kate, you're a fucking delight. You're so great. I've been dying to have you on, and I'm glad we did this.
I'm glad we did too. I hope it's interesting to listen to.
Oh my God. Yes, it is. Shut the fuck up.
We are the world.
We are the children.
Remember that? We are the
ones who make a better day. So let's start living. There's a child.
We're dating ourselves.
I know. Sorry.
80s,
yeah.
That was cool. Remember?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Remember the 80s?
Yeah, no cell phones.
Were you on drugs in the 80s?
I was nerdy. I would only smoke pot,
I was
really.
a little kid. I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I was doing
when
stand-up.
I was in Toronto,
yeah.
I ordered Spy magazine to get delivered to my house from New York, and it was the greatest thrill of my life. Remember Spy magazine?
Yeah, yeah.
I always dreamed of coming here. I always wanted to live here.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Follow Kate Rigg.
Yeah, I'm at Kate Rigg NYC on Instagram. It's relatively amusing.
Yeah.
And my Facebook page is active.
I hate Facebook.
I
think I'm done with it. I'm done. I like tweeting.
I can't.
I don't know. I can't with Facebook.
I'm on it. I just post through my Facebook.
Right. I can't with the Facebook. I mean, I just do it because I have to, but
we're prisoners.
I just can't stand fucking Zuckerberg. He married an Asian.
He did.
Yeah. That's there's a lot of Jews who marry Asians and Asians who marry Jews. Yeah. Anyway, Kate Rigg, thank you for being here. And thank you all for listening. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.